Oceans. Joining me this morning is Dirk Rosen. He is the president and founder of Marine Applied Research and Exploration, known as MARE, or MARE.
MARE.
MARE, okay. Thank you for being here this morning. We thought this was an interesting story because we're talking about this little thing called the Beagle, which is a submarine, but not the kind that we think in old Navy movies, because we're talking about a little thing that's the size of a desk.
Right.
And it goes underwater. And its purpose is to do what?
We're using it for scientific evaluations, and it's a robotic submarine that has 6 different cameras on it. So we're videotaping in both video and still photography everything we see in these deeper portions of our new marine reserves in the state of California.
And new marine reserve is what? What's the area that we're talking about?
Well, California has been divided into 5 different regions, and we're now looking at what we call the North Central Coast region, and that spans from Half Moon Bay, and one of our sites is under Mavericks, the big surf site, all the way up to Point Arena, and it includes the Farallon Islands, right off San Francisco, and Point Reyes National Seashore.
And how deep are we talking about when we're saying, you know, going under the ocean?
Well, we pick up where the divers leave off, so we start at about 60 feet deep, and then we go down to about 350 feet deep.
And because divers can't go down quite that far.
They can, but the deeper you go, the less time you can spend at that depth.
Okay.
Whereas the robot doesn't care, and in fact, it can go down to 3,000 feet deep.
Wow.
But most of our reserve sites, these newly established reserves, are in the shallower water.
Okay. And what is it that we're looking for? And you kindly brought some video, so let's take a look at the video, and you can kind of explain what is it that you're looking for, or what is it that you're seeing?
Okay. So this is a clip from last summer, and we're about to head out again. This is the Farallon Islands, just 20 miles off San Francisco, and we're flying along the sea floor at about 100 feet deep, and you can see how crystal clear the water is, and we're coming into a large school of different types of rockfish. So the first series you'll see are what we call blue rockfish. And then at the very end, if you have a sharp eye, there's a... Oh, we missed it.
We missed it.
We missed it. Anyway, you were going to see a what we call a China rockfish, which I love because they have the Nike swoosh on them. So Nike really ought to be sponsoring this fish.
We'll make sure that you send a video to them. But the rockfish that we were just able to see on that video is unusual, or was it unexpected?
No, we expect to see a lot of rockfish.
Okay.
And some of these rockfish live to be well over 100 years old.
Wow.
There's many different species of rockfish that we have in the state of California. 3 of them are threatened, and the good news was we saw all 3 last summer in different parts of our marine reserves.
Oh, okay, so the threatened species is still alive and well, hopefully.
We're seeing some. I wouldn't say the numbers are where the scientists would like them yet.
Okay.
But
right.
at least it was the first time I'd seen all 3 in 1 year.
So the purpose is to, and I know we were talking right before we went on the air, that you're creating a baseline survey, if you will.
That's exactly right. So these marine reserves prohibit fishing.
Okay.
And they just went into place last year. And we want to see who's living where, in what numbers, last year and this year. And then that'll be our baseline from which we will look at them over time and see if there's a trend of the numbers going up or down. We hope that the numbers go up and it proves that the reserves work.
Okay, so partly it is to see how well the sea is doing, how well the species are doing, right?
Right, and how well we're managing them, because if the numbers go down, then we need to try a different management technique.
So your organization is a nonprofit.
Right.
Where are you getting your funding to do this research?
This particular fund is primarily funded by the state of California through Prop 84, which is a bond fund that the voters voted on. And that supplies 80% of the funding to go out and monitor these marine reserves. And then the rest we raise. So the state required us to do a match. And that's coming from citizens and a number of foundations. We have one in San Francisco, the Campbell Family Foundation. We have down in Monterey, the Cabstanel Family Foundation. and the Hill Bloom Foundation, which is up a little bit in Northern California, and then a number of individuals.
Right, and when we're talking about individuals, what we're doing is letting people know that there's still fundraising, and you need $30,000 to see you through the end of this season?
That's right.
Okay, and this season lasts from when to when?
We'll be done processing the data from this July cruise in about February of next year.
Okay, so the video that we've seen is just a small example of some of the things that you've been able to find under the water.
That's right.
And you said that right now you're not going that deep, you're not going miles deep because of the preserve, but theoretically you can go even further.
Right. Right. Just last summer, we were down at 1,500 feet deep in the Monterey National Marine Sanctuary, exploring that site, the deep water portions of the site, and seeing who was living where.
And how does one find your research? You just go to your website?
Yes, some of it is posted on the website.
Okay.
And then it is all going to be distributed to the California Department of Fish and Game, and the California Coastal Conservancy, and the California Ocean Science Trust. They're all partners of ours in this project, along with the Nature Conservancy and Cal State University at Monterey Bay.
Okay. Well, thank you very much for sharing the information, and I look forward to finding out more about what's underneath. Okay, to see. But if you want to find out more about the program, we'll have the website up on screen in just a little bit. But coming up next on Bay Area People, you're going to meet two honorees who have been recognized for their efforts in providing diversity in the healthcare field. So stay with us. We will be right back.